Okay, I've gone all the way around, working front post double crochet around each stitch. So your pattern should look something like this at this point. You don't really see the cabling yet, but it's coming, I promise. Now we do a slip stitch at the top of that first front post double that was worked. Now we're going to chain 2. Now the pattern reads, for rows 6 through 15, we're going to repeat rows 4 and 5 that we just did 5 times more. Okay, so we're going to do rows 4 and 5 more times. When you're done with this, after this section, you should have six rows with cables and 6 rows with the front post double crochet. I'm going to go ahead and start this row for you and show you what it will look like, just to give you a little more practice. Whoops, let's start with it again. And you'll notice you're starting to see a little bit of variation with the yarn. It's starting to change a little bit, which is an effect that I really, really like. I did the skip 2. I did front post trebles in those 2. Now I'm going to work the front post treble in the 2 stitches that I just skipped. Now I'm going to work 2 front post double crochet. Please don't get confused. Yeah, we have front post doubles and front post trebles side by side, but I think you'll get the hang of it after a while. For the cables, when we cross the cables, make sure we skip 2, and we're using front post treble crochets. And when we're working in between the treble crochets for the front post doubles, make sure you do front post doubles. Okay, and let me do the 2 front post doubles, which are kind of like border stitches. Now let me show you what this looks like. See, you're starting to kind of see the cabling effect here, which will be more pronounced once we get more done. Let me go ahead and finish this round, and I'll show you. Okay, I've gone all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and do my slip stitch to the first treble crochet of the round. Chain 2 for the next, but I just want to show you what this looks like. Okay, notice that it is starting to flatten out. The hat is actually starting to kind of go down, and it's going to curve down a lot more with each row that we add. I'm going to go ahead and start a repeat of row number 5 to show you what that looks like. We've chained 2, and again we are just doing front post double crochet in each stitch around. Now when you do these, make sure you wrap your hook completely around the post. Okay. This one, let me show you this cable. These 2 can be particularly tricky to grab. Put your hook, make sure you go all the way around them. This one in particular, make sure you come all the way around nice and cleanly like that. And what's really cool about this scarfy yarn, I promise you nobody's paying me to say this. This is just my personal opinion. I just really like the way the colors gradually change. Let's just stop and take a look at that aspect of it. So it's not a huge dramatic change. It's just a gradual change, and then it will change to a solid mustard yellow color, and then it will come back again in variation. When you use the scarfy yarn, there's one thing that I did notice about it is sometimes in the factory they connect 2 different colors, maybe a white with a dark, and it doesn't exactly it's probably not connected in the best possible places. If you find that true with the scan that you end up getting, it's not unusual, but it's easily fixed. What I would do is I would pull off some of that yarn that's of a different color and go ahead and try to match the exact same fibers that you're currently working on, just so that you can keep the same color scheme going and so that your hat looks nice and even. Well, I'm going to go ahead and finish round. This is round 5. It's actually the first repeat of round 5 that makes it round 7. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to go ahead and finish rows up through row 15, which again would be 5 repeats of rows 4 and 5. And then I'll show you what I have and we will go from there. Okay, I want to show you where we are now. I have repeated, remember back here, row 4 and 5, and we've repeated those two rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So this is what we have. Okay. I really like the way this scarfy yarn gradually changes colors back and forth. All right, now we are ready for the end ribbing. And this would be rows 16 through 19. We're going to chain 2. That's 1, 2, chain 2. And we are going to work 2 front post double crochets. That's 1, 2. And then 2 back post double crochets. And we are going to repeat that all the way around the perimeter of the hat. 2 front post, 2 back post double crochet. Okay, I'll do a couple more and then I'm gonna finish up. These are nice stitches too. After a while you can just kind of feel them. You don't even have to have as much visuals for this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this round and then I will show you the connecting part. Okay, for the connecting part we are just going to connect with a slip stitch to the first front post double of the round. We're going to chain 2. Okay, that was row 16. Now for row 17, 18, and 19, they're all, again, just a repeat of that row, and which is 2 front post double crochet, and then 2 back post double crochet. And as you're going around, you notice that if you have a front post in front of you, you're going to do front post. If you have back post, you're going to do back post. You want the ribbing to match for these last 4 rows. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. Just stop here. So you just make sure you have 2 front posts. You have to do front posts. If you have back post, you do 2 back posts. Front post, you do front post. Back post, you do back post. I'm going to go ahead and finish rows 17, 18, and 19, and I will show you how to fasten off for the last round. Okay, we have finished 4 rounds of the ribbing, which is 2 front post double crochet, 2 back post double crochet, and I am finishing up the last connection here, the slip stitch to the first, and I'm going to finish this off. Let me get my scissors and I'm gonna cut the stitch there. And let me show you what we've got. I just love the way this yarn does this. I'm going to have to hide that strand. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But let's just stand back and let's just look at this hat for a minute. Is that nice or what? I guess you're not supposed to praise your own things, but I didn't make the yarn, so I can praise this yarn all that I want. So this is the Cabled Messy Bun Ponytail Hat by Bonnie Barker. And that's it. So let me go ahead and show you how to hide my strand. Okay, I've turned my hat inside out while I hide this so that I can show you what I'm going to do. This is just a helpful way that I like to hide my loose strands. Okay, I'm going to thread my yarn needle and let's see if I can, I'm going to go down into this, I'm going to just go down in through the turning chain here, and I don't know if you can notice, I'll show you in just a second, but the turning chain is virtually invisible in this project. And that's another reason why I like to use a chain 2. Oops, I was going to make a mistake there. Okay, one thing you also want to do with this yarn is, since this is a darker than the white, I don't want to hide it too much in the white section. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit like this, and then I'm going to come up like this through the darker shade. Okay, whenever you work with colors, don't hide dark colors under light or light colors under dark. And so I've just brought it down and up, and that strand is going absolutely nowhere. I'm going to cut the string. I'm very careful not to cut my stitches. Oh, that would be awful. And I do have one more strand right here. I'm going to try to bring this up through here. This is the white strand. What happened with this is there was a section in the yarn that I was warning you about, and let me show you the connecting part here. Where in the factory they connected the white with the very dark yellow, and it would have been a very drastic color change that I did not desire. So I went ahead and pulled a bunch of yarn off the yarn ball and found where the yarn matched and then reconnected it. And let me tell you, there was plenty of yarn in one of these scans to do that. All right, so now I'm just going to hide this carefully. I'm going to go ahead and, there's no rhyme or reason. I just want to make sure that the hidden part doesn't show on the front side. So I'm going to pull that through here and maybe weave it back here a little bit. A little bit here, and then I'm going to weave it up into the stitch right here. When you do this using a yarn needle, it is so much easier than trying to hide your stitches with a crochet hook. Okay, so that's, I'm going to give a little tug. So that's pretty well hidden. Now I'm going to clip very carefully, just like that. Now remember the beginning? I don't have anything to hide from the beginning strand because we crocheted that into our very first row. So let's turn this back inside or right side out. And ladies, we are ready, or gentlemen, we are ready to wear our messy bun hat, ponytail, whatever. Okay? All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for visiting my channel. God bless you. Bye-bye.